How's it going, everybody? Ragroth here. Today I'm once again joined by Skullstar Production and Epyon Gaming again.
Hello.
How's it going?
Yeah, we're talking about Fire Emblem Three Hopes again. We had a really good talk last time. We talked about 10 characters we'd each want in the game the most, basically each of our top 10 lists. Today it's a little more open, I guess. We're going to talk about the clone situation with characters. For those that don't know, Fire Emblem Warriors, it was I guess you can call it a controversy. A lot of the characters in the game, if they were a similar class, they would have basically the same move sets, except their special. They would every character would have like an ultimate attack, and then they'd have that one attack where you fill up the meter, and then you go into special mode, and then you do another ultimate attack at the end of that mode. And those would be the only two things that would be unique with the clone character, with one exception being Tharja, who I think had a slightly different strong attack of one of her combos. But yeah, that was it. That was a huge downer, I think, for a lot of people, us included, especially because a lot of other Dynasty Warriors games, they usually do try and make each character pretty unique. And if they do have them be similar, I think the differences are more. There's a bit more differences. So, and I guess the argument here is that Fire Emblem Warriors had, let me see, I'm pulling up the list now. They had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. 23 characters at launch, not counting DLC or anything. And then let's look at another spin-off. I'm only talking about like the licensed spin-off Dynasty Warriors games. I'm not talking about like the main Dynasty Warriors games. So look at Hyrule Warriors, like the Wii U version, the default roster was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Oh, wait. Yeah, no. I'm not going to count Sia Wizra and Volga because they did come out after launch. So yeah,
Well,
13.
what about Age of Calamity? What was the starting roster for them?
Ooh, I forgot to check Age of Calamity. That is a good question.
Only reason I ask is because it's the most recent of the Warriors games,
and it's not a direct sequel to Hyrule Warriors anyway. Okay. So that had 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So more than the first Hyrule Warriors, but less than Fire Emblem Warriors. And then what was another example? Oh, I looked at One Piece Pirate Warriors for the hell of it, just because that's a long-running one. That one had 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So I guess the argument is that we got more characters in Fire Emblem Warriors at launch because they were clones. So I guess the thing is, would you guys rather we get clone characters but we get more characters in the game, or would you rather maybe we get less characters but everybody's unique? What do you think you guys would prefer?
It's difficult to say, but in all honesty, I wouldn't mind a little bit of both. Honestly, like a more unique characters, but a couple of clones wouldn't hurt as long as they're not every new character is a clone in that sense. And I get why that happens too, to save time with coding and programming and stuff like that. But at the same time, just a thought.
Yeah, I mean, I tend to with Warriors games, I tend to gravitate towards like 3 to 4 characters. So the clone situation, while it would annoy me, it wouldn't break my heart. If if characters were to behave the same way. Although I think having unique movesets and having unique ways of play would greatly benefit, replay value and the longevity of the game, because a big issue that Warriors games fall into is that after a while they get very samey, they get very repetitive. So it's like if you have those characters with varied move sets, if every character plays differently, then you can approach situations differently. You can approach you can enjoy the game a multitude of times rather than being like, okay, after I beat this level, I never and get all the optional objectives, I never have to play it again, and things of that nature. So it's like I would understand. I guess I would accept clones if they had to be there, but I would prefer a unique move set personally.
Okay. Yeah, I think those are both pretty reasonable answers that I agree with. I would say, obviously, the best case scenario, I would love if the roster hit at least the low 20s and everybody was pretty unique. What I would say, maybe a middle ground. Well, okay, first I'm going to say this. I think what bugged me the most about the clones in Fire Emblem Warriors maybe were some of the unique situations, or some of some of the specific situations. For instance, so it bugged me that Tharja was a clone of Robin because Robin's moveset wasn't really fully a dark mage. I think he did some dark mage moves, but he was more of the standard elemental mage. And it's like, all right, when I want to play as Tharja, I just want her moves to just be all dark mage, but we didn't really get that, at least not 100%. So that's what kind of bugged me there. And then the other instance that really bugged me was Navarre and Lynn. That bugged me because, first of all, those two characters are not even from the same game. And one is kind of a Lord character, like Crom, Marth, Roy, and them. I know Lynn is very different, but she's still a Lord. And then Navarre is the typical sword, like badass assassin sword master guy. And it's just weird that they play the same. Like, I'm okay. I mean, it still wasn't great that Minerva and Camilla were clones, but I can understand that a little bit more.
Yeah, the whole Minerva Camilla thing bothered me personally, just because Minerva is a legacy character, one of like the original,
exactly, yes,
one of the original Wyvern Knights, and the fact that she plays exactly like Camilla bothered me. I personally adored the way that Lynn played. Lynn was my favorite character to play as in Warriors, but again, it is disappointing when, especially, well, the big problem with the clone situation in Fire Emblem Warriors for me was the fact that it was paid DLC. We were paying essentially to get the exact same characters, but with a skin. So, like, I can accept base roster clones because at least I'm not paying any extra for them. If you want me to pay more money on top of the money I've already spent for characters that play the exact same, it's not going to fly this time.
Yeah. So adding to that, now that I think about it, I think that is what also bugged me, even though I kind of said I was more okay with it with Camilla and Minerva. I think it kind of took away the impact of Minerva coming in, because as you said, she's a legacy character. She's the original Wyvern Knight. And it's just, yay, she's in the game, but she's nothing really that different aside from Camilla. So I think it would have been more okay if Minerva was in the game first, and then Camilla was added later. Even though I love both characters, so it'd been kind of a ball kicker either way. But Minerva does have that legacy status. And I should clarify, Lynn's moveset is awesome, and Lynn is cool. So if Navarre had to be a clone of anyone, I'm glad it was Lynn, but it's still just like,
No, I totally understand where you're coming from.
And yes, I think that is definitely, that really didn't help either. The DLC characters were all basically clones, except actually Do you guys remember if Ajra and Obero were unique or not?
I feel like Obero was unique,
I
but
would assume so anyway.
and I think Azura was unique because she was like a dancer character, right?
Yeah, I
That's
think
right,
they
yeah.
were the only, because it's like they were the only two characters that were just characters that were on foot that used spears. So I'm
Yeah.
trying to remember who they were clones of, or if they were clones of each other.
Yeah, because it's like
But
I don't remember any other spear users in the game besides them.
I think, were there any that were on? How did Frederick fight? Was he on horse?
He was on
Yeah,
horseback.
he was on
yeah,
horseback.
He was a great knight character.
Did he use a sword, axe, or
I used a lance.
Okay, so he was another spear user, but he was on horse, so that obviously
Yeah, so it's
changed
like
how he
at the
played.
very least, it's like different in that regard.
So yeah,
Exactly.
Obero and Ajra were the only two unique ones, and I'm not trying to be like,
Yeah,
well, there were two unique ones, but
and that's probably why out of all the DLC characters, I played with Obero the most because she felt unique,
most refreshing.
Absolutely.
But I did have I had a possible. It's probably easier said than done. Obviously, it's a possible solution that would maybe kind of satisfy both camps. So what I was thinking is, you know how a general character, their roster consists of light attacks. It's usually square or X on the Switch controller, where they're the faster attacks that don't do as much damage, and then you hit it'd be either a triangle for PlayStation or no, it's Y is square and X I think is triangle on the Switch controller. So and you do those moves in the middle of a combo, and it's this more, I don't say dramatic, more powerful move. What I was thinking is, because I feel like those are the moves you kind of remember the most. Just going off of the trailer I've watched the most from a Dynasty Warriors game is Ganondorf's trailer of Hyrule Warriors. And when I watch them all the times, the moves I remember the most were his strong attacks, not really his light attacks. So what I was thinking is, what if what they did is that they have some characters that have the same exact light attacks, but then they also have not only the unique specials, but they also have unique strong attacks. So for instance, examples I came up with, two characters we're pretty sure are going to be in the game are Hubert and Lysithea. Did I say her name right?
Yeah, Lysithea.
Lysithea. And they're both very associated with being dark mages. So how can we make them unique? Well, I think out of the two of them, we can pretty much agree that Hubert is definitely more dark mage material. So all of his moves, his strong attacks, his regular attacks, his ultimates would all just be dark mage moves. But Lysithea maybe her regular combo string is dark mage moves, but then her strong attacks could be either light magic or the other elemental magic like fire, blizzard.
Yeah, nature magic and whatnot.
Yeah, and that would at least add a little bit more uniqueness while also maybe saving some resources and animations, if you get what I mean.
Exactly. And by the same token, Lysithea is more of a scholarly type. She's studying magic for her own purposes, whereas Hubert is just, just grim, broody, edgelord character. Not such edgelord per se, but he's just very, sinister and calculating.
Yeah, so I feel like it would be so dumb if all of his moves weren't dark mage moves. But Lysithea, I think would, I don't.
Yeah, I mean, I know that it is a meme to associate her with the dark spikes.
She has to have dark spikes.
So dark spikes, I would say, has to be there as like her critical hit attack or something.
Yes,
or whatever you want to call like a special thing. But yeah, outside of that, yeah, absolutely, very upper moveset.
And the Death Knight running away in terror at that point.
Yeah,
I think the other thing too is the other annoying thing about the clones is I feel like, I don't know, there were some classes that didn't really get a chance to shine. I don't really know off the top. I'm trying to think of an example off the top. I guess, Dark Mage, for instance, didn't really get much to shine in Fire Emblem Warriors. So I think unique strong attacks would be a way to, or I should say maybe it's not that certain classes didn't, but there were certain classes that I think are associated with some characters that maybe they could use in their strong attacks more. I do know they'll, if they do lock them into a specific class again, that might be a bit of a problem, but we don't know the full details of that, so we can kind of still speculate with that, if you get what I mean. Kind of like how I kind of thought that I think Chrom is very associated, like one of his, I think his promotion, he could use spears too. And I think that would have been a good idea to make him different from Lucina in Fire Emblem Warriors, or maybe Lucina used spears in Fire Emblem Warriors. I can't remember.
I think she used her sword, but I'm not 100% sure.
She used the sword, but I remember Crom's ultimates. He used a lot of electricity, which was random, but it was cool. And then Lucina, I don't remember what the hell she did in her specials. For some reason, I'm thinking she used spears, but I might also be thinking of when they're in Project Cross Zone too. So I was thinking, if we had this idea when we were Fire Emblem Warriors, maybe Crom would have used some spears in his strong attacks to differentiate him from Lucina. Or vice versa. Maybe Lucina would have used spears. I don't know. I just remember Crom using spears more for some reason. So something like that.
So, feeding into the clone conversation, how big of a roster do you expect Three Hopes to have at release?
Yeah, that was actually another good question that we could have talked about during this. I would say so. Okay, Age of Calamity is 18. Fire Emblem Warriors was 23.
I mean, I would anticipate at least you got the house leaders, the house lieutenants, so that's 6 overall right there.
Yeah,
and then you'd have at least another 3 to 4 per house or something like that for a total of 12 or something like that on top of that.
Yeah, see, I anticipate 19.
Thereabouts, yeah, 18 or 19.
I was going to say 19 or 20 because it's in between 18 and 23.
Yeah, because 19, that way it's 5 characters per house, then Byleth, and then 3 people representing the church. So Flane, Sedith, and Rhea, I imagine. And then they would probably much like the original game, they'd probably sell us the Grey Wolves as DLC.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Hopefully, and that would be nice if this game got a bit more DLC, because that's what I'm a little worried about. They haven't been doing as much DLC with spin-off games. I mean,
yeah, and
or Persona 5 Strikers got none. Age of Calamity got a couple characters. That's it.
Yeah, it felt very, very light with Age of Calamity's DLC. It was largely, if I remember correctly at least, it was largely new weapons, and I think they added some story content, but by and large, there was very few characters added to Age of Calamity.
So I'm hoping they'll go more, at least closer to what they did with the original Fire Emblem Warriors, and at least give us 9 DLC, or better yet, the original Hyrule Warriors, which we got. I mean, it was drip fed, but we definitely got a lot of characters added and all that.
Yeah, although I guess with Hyrule Warriors, it helps that game sold incredibly well, the best selling Warriors game ever made.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I forgot about that.
And Fire Emblem is comparatively more niche, but I would say that 5 characters per house would be.
No problem. I guess. Well, 3 Houses did do really well too, right? I want to say it's.
Yeah, 3 Houses was one of the higher performing Fire Emblem titles.
I'm guessing it's maybe second or third next to Awakening and Fates.
That sounds right.
I'm gonna see if I can look this up real quick.
No worries.
I was about to say I don't have numbers. So.
Yeah, sorry to cut this short too. I gotta get going dinners in a minute or two.
Okay.
All right.
Sorry about that. But again, thank you all for having me on tonight. Appreciate it.
Anytime.
Oh yeah, no problem. Thanks for joining us.
No problem. I'll be around next time for sure.
Yeah.
Wasn't counting on having dinner so soon though either.
All good.
It's all good.
It is getting to be about that time.
Anywho, catch you guys later.
Later.
Okay, so I Googled it. According to the data, Fire Emblem 3 Houses managed to move over 3.02 million units worldwide as of June 2020, surpassing the franchise's previous best-selling installment, Fire Emblem Awakening, which sits at 2.94 million units worldwide. So, okay, it did eventually actually beat Awakening, though that might just be because the Switch is just so
widespread.
And I think Awakening kind of made
set.
Fire Emblem more popular.
Yeah, like absolutely.
We got a comment.
Oh yeah.
From hello Scotty. He said VUR .life.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah. Okay. Well.
Oh,
thank you, Scotty.
Thank you for the engagement, Scotty.
I agree.
Yes.
So yeah, I think it would definitely help if we got more DLC characters. They weren't all clones, or at least they were more semi clones, kind of like what I was suggesting. Like I see it kind of being this situation with Lucas and Wolf and Smash Brothers, where they don't really bring much new things to the table, but they're not exactly clones either.
Yeah, like ideally I'd like them to be different enough that at least visually it's different.
Yeah.
When I'm playing as them, even if I'm inputting the same combos and whatnot.
Maybe add some different effects. I think maybe that would help too.
Yeah.
Because I feel like, and I could be wrong, it's been a while, if you're playing as Takumi and he's using the Fujin Yumi, all of his attacks should have like some kind of glowing green like wind effect to them. And I don't remember if they did.
I think his like heavy attacks had like shot off like wind stuff, but I don't remember specifically.
I remember his ultimate attacks. They were all like whirlwinds and stuff like that.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
But then I feel like the other Bow characters who were Sakura, Anna, and then Niles when they added him. And I think Niles, they could have done something with like poison or something, like at least a different element. I think that would have helped. Sakura, I guess, obviously probably more light or maybe a flower effect. Anna, I have no idea. I was going to say money.
Yeah,
because she's always a shopkeeper.
Yeah, I mean, with her, it would just be like, I feel like multi attacks just would work best, just because like all of her attacks had her calling in her sisters, or at least like her special attack did. So it's like, why not use that more in her like combos and whatnot?
Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to think of who else they could. Oh, we got another comment. All right. Hello, Blazeman. Hello, I don't know if you talked about this, but I think the characters are going to have certain classes, and you can choose a specific class in a map.
Well, where did they say that?
I don't know.
Was that like in an interview somewhere?
I don't know if they said that anywhere. Maybe I think that. I guess did they say that anywhere, Blazeman, or was it just like maybe an impression you maybe had? I mean, it's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
I do think that would help if we kind of got to choose classes a bit more, because characters were very locked into certain things.
Yeah.
Fire Emblem Warriors, but like Three Houses is so much more open with the classes.
Yeah, like you can literally like forcibly reclass somebody into a fighter if you work them hard enough.
Definitely. I'm trying to think of another characters they could do. Just speculation. Okay.
Okay.
No, I mean I think that is fair. I think that because like I said, Three Houses, and I think that's one thing that does kind of help with it just being focused on one game. Is you can kind of just focus on what that one game did, as opposed to just trying to do a uniform system for multiple Fire Emblem worlds, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
And that is one other good thing about it, just focus on one game, is the problem is when you're focused on multiple games, multiple companies, all that, you have to kind of get the mainstays from each one, and they all take up a spot on the roster.
Yeah,
so it's
when
like
space is limited, it's like frustrating.
Exactly. And if you like a certain character that's maybe not at the forefront, you're either not going to get them, or maybe you have to wait longer to get them. Like I personally think if the game was only focused on Fire Emblem Warriors was only focused on Awakening, not that I'm saying I'd want that, I would have had Tharja base roster. Or if it only focused on Shadow Dragon, I would have definitely had Navarre base roster. So yeah, or maybe I would have had other characters I would have liked. Maybe we would have had,
I mean, if it was Awakening based, we definitely would have had Walhart. We could have had Sully. We could have had, any of these other characters that just got shafted for the more popular or well-known, characters.
And let's see. So, I'm trying to think of other characters that. So we probably don't have to worry about here. Probably don't have to worry about Hubert. Probably don't have to worry about Dedu or Hilda.
Yeah, I'd like to think that I'm fairly certain that we'll probably at least get Sedith or Flane.
And I know what characters were associated with being Wyvern Riders. I know Sedith was. What other characters were?
Well, Claude, when he gets like the time skip and fully upgraded.
True, though we've seen the time skip version of him in the game, and he's just on the ground.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's him like pre-promotion or something. Although,
possible.
Granted, most of the promotions in the previous Fire Emblem Warriors did not result in like such a drastic shift in playstyle.
Yeah.
Who else? Well, it's hard to say because part of the nature of Three Houses is that you can raise the characters up however you want. Granted, they do lean more towards certain classes, but you don't have to develop them into those classes. Like, for example, Raphael is really good as like a brawler, or he leans towards a brawler, but you don't have to do that for him. And I'm just struggling to think of like who else is a Wyvern Rider in Three Houses.
For some reason, I want to say Petra, but I could be wrong there.
I think Petra leaned more towards an assassin.
Yeah, that's right. We talked about that last time.
Let me see here.
Oh, and Blazeman also said, imagine that Felix can change between Swordmaster and Grappler depending, but he can't be a Paladin because he doesn't care about that. I mean, more restriction in that class depending on the character. No, I think that would be cool. I mean, I don't want... it's hard because I want more flexibility, but at the same time, I don't want it so that everybody could just be the same thing. Like, I would like things exclusive to that character. And it's actually funny you mentioned Grappler for Felix, Blazeman, because when we were talking about our top, I don't know if you saw the first episode, when we were talking about our top 10 characters, Felix was high up on my list because he's one of my favorite characters. And I was saying, I just wanted to be like Virgil from Devil May Cry. And while Virgil is mainly known for using a katana, he's also known for using the Beowulf gauntlets. Like, and I would actually, it would actually be perfect. If I could also have Felix use like brawler, gauntlets, grappler stuff. So it'd be kind of like sort of a full Virgil moveset. But yeah, that would definitely be cool. Like some restriction, but maybe more, but at least a little bit more flexibility would be nice. And I think it would also help for the characters that have their own crests and their own
legendary weapons. Yeah,
their own legendary weapons, and they could even use like those skills they get with the legendary weapons. Like
because like I know that I'm fairly certain that. Well, I know Hilda gets one. I know. Well, all the retainers get one.
God, she was so nasty when I had to fight her with her legendary weapon. Jesus Christ!
Oh yeah, no, she is a beast when you give her that. Can confirm she has mowed down many people under my command.
Yeah.
Apparently Cyril is really good as a Wyvern Rider.
That's right. Yeah. I did have him as one. I don't.
But Cyril is like one of those characters that I kind of forget about.
Yeah. Like I don't hate the guy, but
like, there's other characters I'd prefer to be in. And I know that like one point in Leonie's favor is that there's the legendary bow that she quests for with Linhardt. So that could be a point in her favor.
I was wondering if maybe they would just, I mean, this would be a cool thing, but also a stupid thing. If, every character that had a crest and a legendary weapon was guaranteed a spot in the game, like it would be cool, but I'd be concerned for, say, Shamir who doesn't have a crest. That's the only thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, Blazeman also said, I don't like when people use like 12 Wyvern Lords on the final map, even characters that do not like axes or flying. Yeah. They can be
I mean, that brings up a better point. In terms of the 19 characters, the characters that I would want would probably be like 5 from each house, Byleth, and then Catherine, Shamir, Sedith. Probably.
I would say, so let's see, Byleth. Sorry. So if we did, let's say if we did, all right. So let's say we did Byleth, Edelgard, Dimitri, Claude. So that's 4. And let's say if we did the retainer from each house, so that'd be 3. So 4, 7. And then let's say if we did 2 per the other 2 characters for me. So, I know it's just so hard to. I feel like it's gonna be really hard to please everyone.
Oh yeah. Well,
like, I mean,
I feel like that's the case with that was the case with the first Fire Emblem Warriors too, is because I mean it did. Granted, it didn't help that none of the characters that I wanted to get in actually got in.
Because the problem I think is that some houses might have more popular characters than others.
Yeah, like I have a feeling that if they were gonna weight it in any way, it would probably be like most of the characters come from Black Eagles, and then like we get a good we get like a chunk of characters from Blue Lions, and then like and then like 3 Golden Deer.
Yeah, I mean, I do have to say, Black Eagles does. I like the Black Eagles the most. I do have to say, there's the most characters I like from that house. But yeah, I mean, it would kind of suck if 1 or 2 houses got less than the other. It's just like,
yeah, it would be annoying if the Golden Deer only got like Claude, Hilda, and then like I don't know, Ignatz or something.
No, I think if Golden Deer was only going to get 3 characters, period, I'm fairly confident. I could be wrong. It's going to be Claude, Hilda, and Lysithea. I feel like Lysithia's probably the most. Her or Marianne. I think it's going to be one of those 2. Just because I don't think there are. Because Claude and Hilda are definitely the most popular characters from there. I don't know. And I feel like Lysithea and Marianne are the next most popular. But then they also have to account for not just most popularity, but
like varied move sets and whatnot.
Exactly. That's the other thing.
That's the only reason. That's the only reason why I consider my main man Raphael to be in the running to be in this game, is just because he's one of the very few examples I can think of just a pure grappler character.
Yeah. I mean, you could make an argument for the Dew or Felix, I would say, but I do definitely think he is more associated with that than those 2. It depends on how flexible the classes are, I guess.
Yeah.
But I was going to say this that might give a little bit of hope, for more characters in the game, is that we have to remember that Koei Tecmo actually helped develop 3 houses. And, like, obviously we know they're developing this game, so they might already have a lot of the assets finished, maybe some of the animations even finished already to put in the game. So that might have given them more leeway and time to be able to add more new characters. Granted, it seems like majority of the characters, at least the time skip versions, are getting a redesign.
Yeah.
But even still, I think a lot of the movesets and animation. I think the movesets and animations are probably the bigger concern here. And especially because you have to think with Fire Emblem Warriors, before then, Koei Tecmo never made anything with Fire Emblems. All those models and all those animations are basically built from scratch.
Blazeman said the other choice they give you is they give you a class and then choose your character. And the characters are skins instead of characters.
Yeah.
So it's like you would get all of the characters, but they all play the same. It's just a matter of like which skin you want.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it wouldn't be like the worst thing in the world, but it would definitely be a bummer. Oh, I'm trying to think, is there anything else we could touch on with this? And I do wonder, because obviously we talked about my most wanted character is Skull Knight, provided if he is playable, because the scythe weapons are interesting because they're classified as a spear, but I believe the animations for them when you use them are closer
to axes. Yeah, it's I definitely see Death Knight being in the game, at the very least as like an unplayable boss character.
Oof.
Granted, I hope I'm wrong. Maybe he'll get the Volga treatment and just become playable in a free update.
I'd be okay with that.
Like him and I don't know. I guess whoever else in that faction.
Maybe it would be him, Kronya, and
the spoiler lord. I don't know.
Okay. Maybe what's her
Flame
face?
Lord.
I was gonna say maybe Cornelia.
I don't remember who Cornelia is.
She's more of a Blue Lion character. She's more of a Blue Lion associated character.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, when we talked about what we think about clones, talk about classes, we talked about how many characters we think are going to be in the game. You got anything else to
add? Not for this topic at this time. I think we covered a lot of good ground.
Yeah, definitely.
Plus, I don't want to talk too much without Epyon gaming. It's better to have it as a round table situation.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, I think we kind of covered all the ground we wanted to talk about. And like I said, I basically predicted that this one would not be as long as the other one. So yeah, I guess thank you to anyone that's joined us. Thanks for adding to the discussion, Blaze Man. Appreciate you joining. And yeah, you definitely brought up some good ideas and good points. Oh, also, I don't know if you noticed, Skullstar, but I did fix my.
Oh yeah, I did see it's a lot more noticeable now. Yeah, it looks a lot better.
Yeah, like I actually forgot. I must have got rid of the picture, but thankfully it was in my history on Pixlr, and I'm like, you know what? I might as well just touch up my YouTube name on there, and yeah, that does definitely look a lot better now.
Yeah.
But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you're seeing this after it was already live. Thanks for anyone that joined us. Check out my Discord in the description below, as well as my Patreon. Definitely like the video if you like it. Dislike if you dislike it. It's whatever. I appreciate any feedback. Definitely subscribe if you haven't already and help out the channel a lot. Thank you again, Skullstar, for joining us.
Anytime.
And also thank you, Epyon Game. I know he had to leave early.
Yeah,
and as I always say, another time, another place. Keep being awesome.
Bye-bye.